Up ship.
Hey there, loyal airmen, and welcome to episode number 33 of the Airship 27 podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Captain Ron Fortier, here at Hangar 25 headquarters with my fellow co-host.
Yep, Chief Engineer Rob Davis reporting for duty.
Hi, how you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great. This is 33 of these we've done now. That's wild. So anyway, we have to start off with making this announcement. We are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find every episode of the Airship 27 podcast on comicspodcast.com each month. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Comic Frontline, YouTube, and of course, Zone4Podcast.com.
There you go. And thanks to Sparky Brant Fowler for putting this all together. And you know what? I do want to mention, for those of you who may have come in late, and have only known that we're on the air recently. Let's just say that, because we've been doing this now for quite a while. All our episodes, you can find them on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and go to the search engine, hit Airship 27 podcast, and you will find the previous 1 to 32 episodes. So if you need an Airship 27 podcast fix, that's where to go.
All right. That's great. That's wonderful. Okay. All
right. So, hey, Rob, why don't you start with the first agenda, and we'll get this show on the road.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to apologize to folks right now. We're having trouble with the connection. Ron is kind of going in and out, but we're gonna kind of power through this. So, some other stuff. As ever, there is no predicting how fast or how slow new titles will be wrapped up and released. This past month has proven to be one of our slower production months of the year. So before getting to what is coming out in the next few weeks ahead, we thought we'd chat a bit about other things vital to each of us in Airship 27 productions in general. So you want to talk about your new house, Ron?
Yeah, let me take that.
Okay.
All right. New houses, that's the best way to put the agenda, okay?
Right.
As it turns out, one of our very good friends and fellow writer and publishers, Jim Beard, and his wife just bought a new home. And we do want to wish them all the luck in the world, especially the moving part, which yours truly and my long-suffering wife, Valerie, we also bought a new home a few months back, and we have been packing, crating, moving, and all that ridiculous stuff for the last few months, and have finally settled into our new house. I swear this is the last place I will ever live until I go to the pearly gates. So help me God.
Well, yeah, I moved into this house many, many, many years ago, but I have a similar. I have a story to tell about I think I've mentioned it on this podcast before, that the stuff has piled up in my studio, and I'm slowly going through stuff, kind of like you did when you moved. And like before I started this podcast this afternoon, I'm making some shelves to put under my work table here so I can organize things a little bit better. So although I'm not moving, I am moving stuff around and having to deal with the accumulation of stuff over the years of living here. So,
I know. I mean, if you're creators like us, artists or writers or whatever, you just accumulate stuff. I mean, I had a mini library that got built up in the 7 years that we were here in Colorado. Never mind all the stuff that we brought from New Hampshire. And I've literally given away hundreds of books in the last few weeks. So,
well,
and I keep buying more, Rob. It's incurable.
Well, yeah, I think I mentioned that I had bought some short boxes to put comic books in, and I'd found some from as far back as 2005. And back then I thought I was done. I found 2 more boxes. of old comics, and so I had to buy another couple of short boxes to put them in. So I just keep finding stuff as I go through this room. It's crazy.
It is. Oh, totally. All right. Hey, why don't you take the first agenda? We're going to talk about comic books.
Okay. Yeah, popular comics. Early in the year, two of our Facebook pals, David No and James Ludwig, got the idea of producing a comic book series based on old Dell Comics characters. Among them, such old 50s heroes like Owlman and his partner Owl Girl, OWL Girl, and Owlman as well, and way too many others to name here. They posted their plans on Facebook and soon had lots of submissions from other creators wanting to get in on the fun. Soon they had published their first issue of what they are calling Popular Comics, and it is selling on Amazon as a whopping giant comic with lots of strips and a few prose illustrated comics. Now, we mention all this because at the time of its inception, Ron thought it would be fun to write an Owlman short prose piece, and he twisted my arm into doing a spot illustration to accompany it. Earlier this week, Dave and James announced issue number 2 of Popular Comics is nearing completion, and our story will be in that issue. So, all our loyal airmen might want to take a look at it when it comes out. We had much fun working on this and might contribute other stories to the series in the future.
And speaking of comics, hey, look, as we're talking about comics, this is a good time to let you know that Rob at This Writing has actually finished our Secret Agent X black and white one-shot that we will be publishing via his Redbud Studio comic outfit. Now, this is a 29-page original Secret Agent X story written by yours truly. It's called Race with the Devil and pits the man of 1,000 faces against a group of German spies operating in America just prior to our entry into World War II. Both of us think Secret Agent X was one of the greatest characters to come out of the pulps, and Airship 27 Productions has already released 5 anthologies of new stories featuring the super spy, with a 6th now in production. So you loyal airmen, keep your eyes peeled, as this new comic book thriller should be out in only a few more weeks.
Yep, we're just...
Is that a good bet?
Yep. Well, let's hope, yeah. There's probably 2 or 3 pages of text or whatever that we need to put in there yet, but I should have it done within a couple of weeks. And also I got to do the cover up, but that should only take one day. And then, of course, getting it up at either Indie Planet or at Amazon. I'll have to decide which we can do and which one's most affordable. If we might be able to do both, we'll see. But I'll have to look into that as well. But it should be out. I can send it to, if I go with Indie Planet, kablam, then it will take 30 days from the time I send it to them. So it might be as much as, it might be in December before it finally is available. But if I go with Amazon, it'll be ready within like a week after I put it up there. In fact, just a few days.
Well, right. One of the things I didn't mention in talking about that particular project is that, because it's something you and I just discussed before we started the show today, and that's the possibilities of having a special feature at the back of the book.
Right.
I still have to look at, but once we can make that happen, we'll announce it with the release of the book.
Yeah, so it'll come down to that and me getting the cover done. So that's where we are, and it depends on that special feature and how long that takes.
Okay. Yep. All right. So hey, that's it. That's it for the comic book stuff. Let's get into what Airship 27 has going, and what was the last thing we released.
Well, since our last episode, we released Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Volume 10. As expected, it's becoming another solid entry in this best-selling series of new Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson mysteries. This volume contains stories by I.A. Watson, Greg Hatcher, and 2 short stories by Aaron Smith. Graham Hill did the cover, and I did the interior illustrations for this one. Look for a volume 11 out at probably around January, might be as late as February, but at the beginning of the year.
Right. I mean, we've got enough material. All the material is in for volume 11, and I think we've even got volume 12 filled.
So it's just a matter of me cranking out the illustrations as usual. Yeah. So. But,
we can't put these things out fast enough, buddy. I don't know what to say. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this
crazy.
One, yeah, it's like all the others. As soon as it goes up, it starts selling. And it's pretty amazing. Okay, well, what's coming out next? You want to take that one, or you want to?
All right, coming up next. Up next, and this is what we were talking at the start of the show. Sometimes things come out fast and easy, and some other times we get road bumps.
This
coming out next, hopefully by the time this podcast is posted, is going to be The Silver Riders by Greg Hatcher. After a few unexpected snafus from our good friends at Create Space, this is a weird Western novel, and it's due out any day as you are listening to this show. Now, artist Chris Cole had turned in 9 amazing interior illustrations, and Adam Shaw, as ever, turned in a stunning, evocative cover. Now, lovers of the strange and the bizarre will not be disappointed in this book if we never get it out.
Yeah, as sometimes happens with Create Space, I will sit. We've done over 100 and some odd books now, and sometimes I'll put them up there and they'll just sail right on through. Other times they'll come back with some odd little quirk. I don't know if it's a new guy that they've hired in, and he's got a thing about a certain item on the cover or whatever that it has to be in a certain place or whatever. Then I have to move things around, and this one's taking a little longer than usual. In that I've gone back and forth with them. This is like the third day now, and it takes they tell me something's wrong with it. I fix it and send it back to them. And then this time I've gotten two more replies going, well, it still needs to be fixed. And I'm going, okay. So hopefully this last fix should do it. It can be a real pain in the behind, but all right. Some books sail through, some take time.
Let's say we can get Silver Riders out by the time people do hear this podcast. What's coming up next, Rob?
Okay, after that. And it's in the pipeline as well, and I'm doing the illustrations for it. But it's Mystery Men and Women, Volume 5. We did mention this last episode, and I'm within about 3 or 4 illustrations of the end. And doing the illustrations. Yeah, this volume features the debut of a shadow-like female named the Shrike, as was created by writer Jean Moyers. She appears in a full-length novella. Then we have a new Doc Atlas adventure by Michael Black and Ray Lovato, and finally, another great Nightbreaker story by Thomas Deja. Canadian artist Ted Hammond has signed on to do a Shrike cover for this volume. It should be something special. And speaking of this series, our good friends at Radio Archives just released Volume 5 Volume 4.
No, Volume 3.
Volume 3. We'll get it here in a minute. Volume 3, I forgot to write the number on there, as an audiobook. It features 4 amazing stories by Curtis Fernland, Kevin Noel Smith, Derek Ferguson, and Greg Geek, and it is read by, Joe Formicella. I guess
good, excellent.
I'm learning these Italian names. Okay. If you've ever listened to one of our podcasts, if you've ever listened to one of our Airship 27 titles on audio, if you have not, you need to do so. They are a lot of fun, much like the old-time radio shows. And they get read a little better than I'm reading this, reading the agenda here. Okay, those are pretty cool. I don't download all of them because I don't have time to listen to them, but the handful that I have listened to are just incredible. The guys and gals that read them are just they do a stupendous job.
Oh yeah, I personally
over the last week, listened to Kalinda Little read my Lady Action novella, The Sands of Forever.
Mm-hmm.
And she did an amazing job. It's absolutely phenomenal, okay? I mean, Radio Archives has the best readers, no question about that. And, while we're talking about this, you and I have already seen the mock-up cover for Mystery Men and Women Volume 5.
Right.
Which does feature Jean's female shadow, the Shrike, by Ted Hammond. And, man, when that thing is finished, that is going to be one of the most stunning covers we ever put out.
Yeah, you sent me that that basic drawing that he did of it, and I was just blown away. I'm going, that's the character. That's going to be a dynamite cover.
Yep. And speaking of classic pulp characters, we're getting ready to finally put to bed the Moon Man Volume 2. Now, I mean, the Moon Man is one of the quirkiest characters from the old classic pulps, and our earlier anthology New Stories did extremely well for us, and we're really excited. With any luck, we should have our second anthology out either by the end of this month or early in December.
Yeah.
Artist Richard John has completed 7 of his 12 interior illustrations, and we already have a wonderful new Mike Files cover ready to go. I personally am going to be really happy to get this one out.
Yeah, he's quite a character. If you can imagine a guy with a cape and a bowl over his head, and carrying guns, an avenging guy, but he's got a glass globe on his head, a mirrored globe. Yeah, it just how weird can you get?
Yeah, logic wasn't the strong suit of the pulp.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how did the guy breathe? Anyway.
Never mind that. Imagine getting in a fist fight with him. What do you do? Hit the globe, punch it, or something? You know?
I mean, it'd have to be. Yeah, it's crazy, but it makes for an interesting visual, definitely.
It does, and it's a whole lot of fun to read for sure.
Okay, so what's up with Rob and Ron? Well, it looks like our one-shot Secret Agent X comic book, Race with the Devil, is about finished. As of this recording, I had one page left when Ron wrote this, but it's all done, and now it's time to work on the cover. Once finished, it will be published via Redbud Studio imprint, and we'll get the word out to all of you immediately. We don't get to do many comics projects together these days, so when one does get done, it is a cause for celebration. Stay tuned. And we spoke more about this a little bit earlier. But, okay, Ron.
Right. Yeah, I really wanted to, underscore that. I have to believe, Rob, that when this comic comes out, it will be the first ever Secret Agent X comic ever done.
Yeah, I was going to do a Google search, but I don't think there ever has been a Secret Agent X comic book. At least not under that not under that name. There've been other secret agents in the comics, but I don't think it's Secret Agent X. Like X9, I think was a comic book character, Secret Agent X9, and
right.
What is the other one? Skip Corrigan, or I'm remembering it wrong? But there was another.
Right. No,
agent.
Yeah. No. There was a Secret Agent X9, and if I'm not mistaken, that comic strip was actually okay. We got to get this straight. Was written by Dashiell Hammett, the mystery writer.
Right. That's exactly right.
And wasn't it Hal Foster who did the illustrations? No, not Hal Foster.
Alex Raymond.
Who was the artist on Flash Gordon?
Alex Raymond. Wasn't he the
Alex Raymond? He was the artist. Him and Hammett.
Yeah.
So you got to consider that was a classy comic strip.
Yeah, it was beautifully drawn. Alex Raymond. It was well known for his comic strip work. It was some of the most artful stuff we've ever seen in the comic strips. Nothing's being done anywhere near that level these days. A lot of detail. Of course, they have a lot more room to work with.
Keeping on that, Rob, I want to add. Ultimately, the Secret Agent X9 comic strip was so popular, it was actually made into a serial.
Yeah.
And if memory serves me correct, I believe a very young Lloyd Bridges plays Secret Agent X9, who, the guy we all know later went on to fame and fortune in Sea Hunt, playing the underwater diver on television.
Yeah, I remember watching that show. Yeah, it amazed me how every week they could do some new story with him swimming around under the ocean. You'd think that you would run out of ideas for that after a while, but yeah, I remember every week he'd dive into the water and get into some wild adventure. But well,
that was a big thing. Yeah, that was a big thing in the late 50s. People were taking up scuba diving big time, and a trivia question to all our loyal airmen out there. That's all because Jacques Cousteau, the famous sailor, undersea explorer, actually perfected the aqualung.
Right.
And made it smaller and more portable so that people could, people of all walks of life could learn how to use it and go deep sea diving and exploring.
I think he's the one that came up with scuba too, as a scuba gear, because it stands for something.
Yep.
I can't tell you what underwater is. Under the water is probably the U. I can't remember what the S and the C stand for, but yeah, it's. Most people don't even realize that actually it's an acronym that each letter stands for something. But sealed something. Sealed. I don't know what this, what's that?
I would say C could be compressed.
Yeah, sealed compressed air. No, wait a minute.
Sealed compressed underwater
breathing apparatus. We got it. That's what scuba stands for. Yes.
See, we learn something new on this show every episode. Oh, crazy stuff, Rob. Okay, hey, look, let's get back on track here a little bit, because we're gonna be wrapping this up, and we'll probably come in a little shorter than most of our shows.
Yeah, so no questions this month. So yeah, that kind of. We didn't have that to throw in at the end of the show like we normally do. But
I did ask for some questions, but unfortunately none came in. And I spent most of yesterday on Facebook thanking over 300 happy birthday wishes. So, what a crazy day. Hey, look, this is what's happening with me. I'll cover this, and I'll let you talk a little bit about your upcoming convention this weekend. I am, believe it or not, I'm getting ready to wrap up my first How to Write Comics and Graphic Novels 8-week course at the Front Range Community College here in Fort Collins. Rob, it blows me away. I mean, this coming Wednesday will be class number 7 of the 8 weeks.
That just flew by.
That's how fast this has all happened.
Yeah, it just seems like it was last week that you started that. And now you're
right.
Yeah, it just flew. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, it has been such a rewarding experience for me, my friend. I had 5 really amazing young writers in my class, 4 young men and 1 young lady. All of them very enthusiastic about comic and creating them. It has been a pure joy to work with them, to hopefully impart some of the things that I've learned over the last 45 years. And I've enjoyed it so much, Rob, that after I wrap it up in 2 weeks, the last night will be the 15th of this month. I will be going in to talk to the director of the Adult Education Department, and hopefully they'll let me come back in the spring and do it again, because I very much want to keep doing this. It is really, really a lot of fun.
Yeah, if nothing else. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my week. I've been spending the weekend. You spent time answering all your birthday wishes. I've been getting ready for a new convention for me called the Kansas City Comic Con. It's in the same venue as Planet Comic Con, which I've been going to since it started back in I don't know how many years ago now, but it's going to be in Bartle Hall in Kansas City this coming weekend, and that's November 10, 11, 12. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I don't know if this will be out in time for people to actually get the table number, but I found out my table number is 618 inside the hall. Now, this show is not quite as big as Planet Comic-Con, but it's in the same building. It takes up about a third of the floor that Planet Comic-Con now takes up the whole floor. So, but it's
wow.
I'm really looking forward to this show. There are some comics creator friends from Kansas City that I haven't seen in a number of years. They don't normally go to the Planet Comic-Con. This is their show, and I'll have a chance to actually visit with them. That I haven't seen them in a long time. So, and this will be a brand new show for me. I'm hoping to do well, but like I said, it's brand new, so I have no idea. It'll be an adventure.
You made some new prints for this, didn't you?
Yes, I made a brand new print because of the Wonder Woman film and how great a film that was. I actually did a version of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and did that up as a color print. Yeah, and I will have those along with me, as well as the Avengers ones that I put together previously, to include Avengers and including Doctor Strange. He's also included in those prints, and I'll have those for sale, as well as the regular black and white prints I do. Anybody that wants an original sketch done by me, I'll be doing those as well, and I'll have some. I found as I was cleaning up the studio, I found a stash of old comic books that I had done back in the '90s, and I'll be bringing some of those along in case any collectors are looking for any of those for sale. So. As well, I'll be bringing along specifically all the Airship 27 books that I illustrated, but I'll have them out and available for people to look at. But I will have the rest of the convention boxes of Airship 27 books. So if somebody wants to pick up an Airship 27 book, come by the table, tell me what you're looking for, or you can. Well, of course, this will be too late for the show. I was going to have them email me, but. Come by the table, and I might have a copy of what you're looking for in the convention boxes. So just come by and say hello, talk to me for a little bit, and we'll see if we have the book you're looking for.
All right. Well, that sounds cool. I got to ask you before we sign off the show, because all the hype I've been seeing online. Are you and Teresa planning to go see the new Thor movie?
Oh, absolutely, yes. We didn't get a chance to see the Spider-Man Homecoming, and I was a little disappointed we didn't get to see it, or the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Those two we missed. So, but everything I've seen about this one, it looks like a lot of fun, and it's kind of
doesn't it?
Oh,
yeah. I've had a few friends who've seen it, and apparently. Not only the reviews through the roof, but apparently there's a good healthy dose of humor throughout action and adventure.
Oh yeah, I mean that's very much comic bookish, because that's exactly how comics are. There's exactly. the knockdown drag out stuff, but there's a little bit of romance, but there's also a lot of humor. And you put the Hulk and Thor together, and you're gonna something's bound to get broken.
I know. The trailers crack me up. I'm anxious to go see it. We wisely avoided the weekend premiere because I'm way too old to sit in the crowded theater and have people on their cell phones and annoying the hell out of you.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of hoping that within the next couple days, maybe we'll catch an early morning matinee for us seniors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I feel pretty much the same way you do. I mean, I used to go to the Star Wars film the very first day they came out, but I'm with you here. I'm too old to be going to that stuff, and going to the midnight shows, or going where the theater is completely packed. And I'd rather have. I'd like to go with a bunch of people, but I don't want to. I don't want to have to be what is it? Cheek to jowl, as they say here in Missouri,
right.
where everybody's just crammed
right.
into their seats.
Yeah, and again, it's a much more enjoyable experience to just enjoy the film with a few friends and actually, like I said, revel in the fun and the good time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping with both of the kids out of the house now. Trying to get all of us to get to a movie like that is a lot more difficult. But I'm hoping that we can all get together some weekend and get on. No, it's very hard. And I've only got 2 kids. You had how many did you have in your house?
Well, I mean, between myself and my wife, 5.
Well, there you go.
All over the country,
twice as much. And yeah, they're spread everywhere now. At least mine are within a couple of hours of here. But
when we get together, it's rare. Believe me.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and get them together so we can all go see it together because we all enjoy that stuff. So we'll see what happens. But we're looking forward to it, definitely.
All right. Hey, that's pretty much what we've got. Again, our apologies to our loyal listeners for this short show, but there were a lot of technical hurdles that Rob and I had to jump to even get this thing recorded. Hopefully those things and bugs will get worked out by next episode.
Yeah.
But, hey, everybody out there, thanks for listening like you always do. We really appreciate it. And thanks again to Brant and the crew over at Zone 4 for making this possible. Rob, any final words?
None whatsoever. It's after doing 33 of these. Sometimes it's hard to come up with enough stuff to fill a full hour, and then other times we have to talk like crazy to get it all in. So this is a short one. But as we're starting to go into the holiday season here too, things will get a little crazier. So if we don't see you, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
For sure. Go ahead and say goodnight, buddy.
Good night. And this is the Chief Engineer signing off.
And Captain Ron, as ever, says, down ship.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.